CheckDown. Nathan McCreary, Coach Ron Jackson here for, the FCS CheckDown, honestly. I hit live, Coach, while we're sitting there staring at the cameras instead of having the CheckDown thing. So I'm sure people that happen to be tuning in saw me look over like with deer in headlights and hit the CheckDown thing. But we're back. We missed Monday. I was traveling in Virginia celebrating my grandmother's 102nd birthday. Miss Ollie McCreary actually turned 102 yesterday, but we were there for all weekend. My dad, my brothers, we went up and had a great time with my cousins, and so I apologize for the missing on Monday night. I just got back and just wasn't prepared for anything. So, what a weekend! What a weekend of football, Coach.
Yeah, had a good one. This weekend. We a lot of good games, a lot of close games, a lot of upsets. Which again, I think we was kind of looking for chaos, and we right on the cusp of chaos.
Yep, we sure were. Chris Monstrangelo checking in. Chris, great to see you, and all those in the chat, thank you. We missed you guys. Some of you guys checked in. We had a Tuesday last week, and I think it threw off a lot of people. But good stuff. Hey, let's go ahead and get into the show. We're going to do our Around the FCS, some news, some helmet stickers. Then we'll talk about a little bit about the Week 12, but we're going to focus really on the playoffs and Week 13. So if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content. It really helps us kind of figure out what we're doing here. And we've had some great chats. It just makes it so much more fun. You guys, the interaction with everybody has just been phenomenal. So let's go ahead and get around the FCS, Coach. And I think there's only one real big story besides all the automatic qualifiers for NDSU and Mercer and now Stephen F. Austin. There's one story that's kind of dominating the FCS, in my opinion, except for the playoff talk, is this Sacramento State and Idaho game. With 17 seconds left in the contest from the 20-yard line, Sacramento State quarterback Cardell Williams threw a pass to tight end Jordan Williams on the sideline when crashing down with Idaho safety Tim Jackson draped all over him. They landed on the ground, and he was completely out of bounds. They called it a catch. They replayed it, Coach, and he's clearly out of bounds. He's clearly out of bounds.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I've seen it. From first look, it looks like the referee might have thought his shoulder came down inbounds. So in one respect, I guess I can see how you can miss it on the field, but I don't see how you miss that on the replay. It's not even close.
This is our blind referee, Coach, with the Big Sky logo on his shoulder. And if you look at the photo, he's watching the replay. Yeah. The leg is clearly out of bounds. And because of this, they said they didn't have enough to overturn it. It was they were given the ball at the 2-yard line, 12 seconds left. A play later, they scored on a Cardell Williams option run, which was the dagger for Idaho. The head coach for Idaho, Thomas Ford, in his first season said, well, it felt like at the end of the game, at the end of the game, I want to quote this, felt like at the end of the game we got one taken from us. And he left it at that. Of course, more questions came, and he says, I have to question the call. I don't think it's the right call. It got reviewed. They said there wasn't enough evidence. We were in a position to make a play, thought we made a play, but then we're not given the play. So, again, not talking about officials. He's talking about officials. But they definitely missed one on that call, and I believe that they will see this and think the Big Sky Conference has reprimanded Idaho football coach Thomas Ford for violating Big Sky sportsmanship policy, saying that he shouldn't have commented about the officiating and fined him a crisp $2,500 for that call. But, Coach, I'll just be honest with you. It seems like as they've gotten replay, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
It's made the referees a little lazy, for one, and then having to call something knowing that it's possibly going to get overturned. I wish they would just call whatever they they see on the field. It's an absolute. I listened
Well,
to.
they called it a catch on the field, and they said they didn't
Yeah,
have enough to overturn it.
Yeah, I don't see how you have that, but I listened to the coach's comments afterwards, and I didn't think they were out of line. So I think it's a little lame to give them a $2,500 fine on top of that. And honestly, that mess goes on all the time. One of the things that the FCS should do is invest a little bit in their referees. A lot of these referees are just guys that don't have anything. I don't want to say don't have anything to do. It might be their off week. They might work with other crews or anything like that. So there's not a whole lot of continuity. It's not like these teams have worked together. It's not like the SEC. The SEC has SEC officials. Mm-hmm. So some of these guys are guys that aren't on, any kind of crew or anything like that.
They work high schools on Friday night, and then
might even come from another conference or anything like that. And it just literally it's just not a good look. I wish. Yeah. I wish that they would do better, but that is a problem all across the FCS. It's in every particular league, and literally all you get is an apology letter. And when guys' jobs are on the line, I don't believe that an apology letter does it.
Yeah, and not only is your job on the line, but your players. I mean, Idaho's having a tough go of it here the first year, and that would have been a big boost to them and a quality win against the Sacramento State team. So,
hey, listen, there's no guarantee that they still don't lose. I understand that too.
Of course,
what I mean. They could score the next play, but literally, guys, get it right.
Yeah, it's bad when it's that egregious, and that's one of the worst I've seen. And so
I've seen a bunch.
If the FC, well, you know what? Did we ever have a question about what a catch was when, back in the 80s and before they had replay? Now it's like you have to complete this catch and so on and so forth. I mean, the eyes don't lie for the most part. Now, some of these things that are bang, bang, I mean, that Indiana and Penn State catch with a guy with the toe and the thing. So I'm not saying get rid of replay, but they got to do better. They got to do better. Yeah. ACC's gone to where you can actually listen to the officials talking about the play that they're watching. I think it's fascinating. It's like the invention of that. Remember NASCAR? I wish Brandon were here. He does NASCAR stuff. NASCAR went to, you can listen to the pit crews talking and giving direction to the driver and stuff. Yeah. ACC said, "Listen, we're gonna be transparent here. And we're gonna show you what we're going through and why it takes so long and what happens." And I think it's actually sped them. I think it put the pressure on them to get it right and in a timely manner. Anyway, it's disappointing for Idaho, and our hearts go out to the Vandals fans because when you get a bad call like that, man,
it's especially tough. One that's that egregious.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's move into a more positive note, or it's our helmet stickers. Coach, I just got a couple players to highlight here. First, Idaho State's Jordan Cook had 428 yards of total offense and 4 touchdowns as the Bengals defeated Weber State 31-3 and secured their first back-to-back wins over the Wildcats since 1984. Cook finished 24 of 39, passing 336 yards and tossing 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, while adding 65 yards on the ground and 2 scores. He was named the Big Sky Player of the Week for those honors, and good stuff from Jordan Cook there for Idaho State. That's a team up and coming, and love what Cody Hawkins is doing there. We got a chance to talk a good bit about him there in the Big South. But Montana State redshirt freshman Frankie Weaver was chosen as the Stats Perform FCS National Player of the Week following an outstanding performance against North Carolina A&T. I know, it's just North Carolina A&T. I know, I get it. But he had a great game. He's the freshman of the week for the FCS Stats Perform, and on the national stage, he tied the program record with 6 touchdowns, passes, and passed for a career-high 428 yards as Monmouth rolled to a 63-19 win. Coming off a loss, remember that, they picked up a win, 63-19 at North Carolina A&T, completed 19 of 27 attempts, 3 touchdowns, over 50 yards, and an average of 22.5 yards per completion. He had a 267 passing efficiency, second highest in CAA football, and the 8th best in the FCS season. So congratulations to Frankie Weaver. for doing a great job. Chris Monstrongolo, I'd like to hear your thoughts if you got a chance to watch the game and what the young man did. New Age, good to see you. Austin had his Axum. Where's Axum? Axum comment. It's becoming it's like the Washington State flag for College game day. It's Austin coming in and Axum. On the defensive side, Coach, Caden Dowler had one of the best defensive performances of the season on a 38-17 win over UC Davis. That was a great game in the first quarter, and Montana State ran away with it there late. But the junior had 2 interceptions. One of those he returned for an 83-yard touchdown to headline his night. He also tallied 12 tackles, 9 solos, a tackle for loss, forced fumble to cap off a sensational performance. And so congratulations to Caden Dowler. That's Taco Dowler's twin brother. That's back-to-back Defensive Player of the Week there out of the Big Sky for him. And Chris Monstroglo does check in and said, Derek Robertson should be back this week. That's great news for him. And Weaver looked composed as the quarterback running for Mama. Coach, it's a freshman quarterback back there stepping in for Robertson. They needed a win. I know it's NCAA, but it is a tough dude, a tough performance for Frankie Weaver, and he did a great job. Lots of lights on that young man, and he showed out. Yeah,
I think he did a good job holding it together till the first-string quarterback gets back. So proud of him. And you know what? And good for Monmouth. That'll pay dividends for them. If not in the playoffs, it'll certainly pay off for him next year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it does. It gives you the more time that guy's on the field, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Weaver made good decisions as well. Chris checks in, and Kobe Clue, of course, Quesadilla or Godzilla. Yeah, he was big, the Dowler kid defensively. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about week number 13. Week number 12, Coach Jackson. Let's see. I'll pop these in here. We'll just go through these. Just a couple of games. South Carolina State picked up a big win against North Carolina Central. That is a very, very important matchup for South Carolina State. We'll talk about their game coming up. And then it was Western Carolina, a shocker. 52 points allowed by that defense, Coach. You talked about it early in the season. They got to find some defense. Well, they had, 52 points put up by ETSU. Your thoughts on this one, Coach Jackson?
Well, I mean, that not having much of a defense is what's going to keep them out of the playoffs and keeps them from winning a league championship. And, it's when you got as dynamic of an offense and dynamic of an offensive quarterback as they have, all you got to have is a stop or two in a ball game. I've never had any reservation about the points that Western Carolina is going to put on the board, but goodness gracious, you cannot give up 60, 70 points a ball game and expect to win.
No. Tough one. And that likely means Teron Dickens is, well, there's some CAA stuff going on, but likely he's not going to be in the playoffs and likely not going to be at Western Carolina next year, in my opinion. So we'll see how that one plays out. Drake picked up a win, a close one there. Dayton, 14-6 was the final score there. And then you had this one, Harvard, in a very tough battle with Penn, 45-43. Harvard stays undefeated. And this was a disappointment. Duquesne, we all pick Central Connecticut, Coach. We don't often get to pick these NEC matchups, but it was Duquesne picking up a win, knocking off Central Connecticut. So now you've got a playoff type game this weekend coming up. We'll talk about that one, but disappointing, I thought, for Central Connecticut.
Yeah, you know what? The bad thing is they're close. They've been climbing, and I guess the good part about it is they're not an automatic win on anybody's schedule like they used to be. So, maybe next year they take another step closer.
Yeah. This one was a shocker. Rhode Island, 45-13 over Maine. I think half of us picked Maine, half of us picked Rhode Island. Matter of fact, I think you and I picked Rhode Island, Coach Jackson. The other two, the guest, and Brandon picked Maine. So shame on y'all. 45-13 was the final score there. And then you had Villanova picking up a win, a close win. Stony Brook held closely onto that one. This is an overtime win for Villanova. CAA, that's probably the most complicated playoff picture right now for Villanova. But that's a big win. Stony Brook's a good football team. This one, heartbreaker. Heartbreaker for SIU. 53-51, South Dakota picks up the win. I picked this one. Coach, let's see. Who did you pick in this one? Me and Brandon picked SIU. You had South Dakota on this one. Chad, I'll get to you just a second. I see things popping in. I love it. Let's see. Hey, Prairie View, they are now – oops, daisy. There we go. Prairie View has picked up the win. They are the SWAC West champions. Congratulations to Prairie View A&M. Not on our radar, Coach, but they knocked off Arkansas Pine Bluff 56-9. Like you said early in the season, St. Grandpa's Prairie View. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, their coach pretty much said a little bit earlier that I don't know who he had for the fourth or the fifth grade or something like that, but he said they didn't do recess, so he don't play.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And they haven't this year. And you know what? And good for them. They right outside of, I guess about an hour and a half outside of Houston, and kind of in the middle of nowhere, but they playing pretty good ball in Prairie View right now.
They are. They did a great job. I think they had a big crowd there as well. This one I was just so disappointed. 35-21, South Dakota State is in trouble. They lose. Illinois State, New Age comes in with kind of silly. SDSU is still ranked ahead of Southern Illinois. Coach, we talked about that. Sometimes the legacy of a conference or legacy of a team boosts them up. I think that's what's happening with South Dakota State right now. I would have them in the top 35 right now in the FCS.
Yeah, I don't even see how they're still sniffing the top 50. And again, with their quarterback, they're a pretty good team. Without them, they're not. It is what it is. But there's no sense in hanging on to that dead cow. Let that one go and move him on and let somebody else go. Congratulations to Illinois State and Coach Spack.
But it's not just that. They are going to have to figure something out on defense. Their defense looks lost at times. So yeah, it's more than one guy, but that one guy is Chase Mason, and he's very well missed. Sela almost blew it. UIW's 10-7 was the final score there. Sela stays there for that SLC playoff contention. Of course, SFA picked up the win, and they are your Southland champions. But close one for Sela, and that one. And then staying in the Southland, you had Lamar losing to SFA 26-15, Coach Kobe Carthel and SFA. When we talked to him, I said, hey, we'll talk to you later this season when you're in the playoffs. And he kind of laughed it off. Probably was like, oh, no, don't say that. But pretty confident that SFA was going to pick it up there. And they did. They are the champions. Congratulations to the Lumberjacks. Austin, I know you're happy about that one. And, Brandon Haddock checking in. Lots of chat coming in. We're going to bring you guys in just a second as we get through this. Brandon, you haven't missed a thing. You haven't missed a thing. Here is Austin checking in. I want to pull his comment in. SFA has been without Sam Vidlak for the past 2 weeks. It's a minor injury, and he should be back for the first round of the playoffs. Great, good news for SFA. And Austin, who was there? I didn't look at their stats. Who was their backup quarterback, and how did he do? That's just an interesting thought there. So congratulations to SFA. Where we go? I lost my spot. Here we go.
Holding Lamar to 15 points right there is pretty stout. Coach told us a little bit earlier. He said he had some dudes on that defensive line, and they're certainly getting it done right now. And it's a terrific bounce back from where they were last year.
Yeah. Southern Utah and Coach Delane Fitzgerald stays alive in the UAC, and 28-21, so now they're in that UAC championship conversation, believe it or not. Gavin Rutherford is the backup quarterback there. Thank you, Austin, for that information. He's a much better runner than Vidlak. All right, well, you know what? He's getting some time, and as we were talking about with Frankie Weaver, it's always good to have a backup quarterback getting some experience. Gavin's expected to be the starter next season. Awesome. That's awesome. We're going to follow that kid. He looked good. Congratulations to Lane Fitzgerald, Coach. We liked the dude. We knew that they were on the cusp, and you could kind of feel it. They're putting some things together at the right time.
Yeah, it's very, very possible that Abilene Christian ends up winning the league. Tarleton goes as a at-large bid, and quite honestly, if Southern Utah wins their last game, they could be the third team out of the UAC to make it to the playoffs. They would be either one of the last four in or one of the last four out.
Yeah, this is the game we talked about, Sacramento State 23-20 on that terrible call. Brandon, that's actually what you missed, is we talked about that head coach for Coach Ford being fined for his comments post-game, and Big Sky having to apologize. Anyway, again, this one 38-17 for Montana State. UC Davis, hey, hung in close. In that first quarter, I thought, oh, man, UC Davis was leading 7-0. I thought they really Caden Pinnock really impressed me. He's a big kid. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Middle eight got him.
Yeah.
Middle eight got him, and that's how it is. And you know what? I listened to Coach Plow talk a little bit. I don't know if you've heard his last interview, but man, what a good ambassador for football. What a good ambassador for UC Davis. But he ran into a buzzsaw Saturday. Montana State proved that they're one of the top 2-3 teams in the country.
Well, and I think that I really do believe that Tim Plow is an up-and-coming coach, which kind of makes me nervous because he coaches there, but money calls. You know what I'm saying? And so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, his heart's going to stay there for how long, though? If he's getting this kind of stuff, and like you said, people are noticing that team plays really, really well. So
his heart can stay, but his wallet's going to go.
We'll see how it happens. All right, so the chat, I'm going to bring you guys in. A couple of you guys had some comments, and it starts with Western Carolina from Chris Monstrongolo played themselves out of the playoff. I really believe, Chris, you are exactly right, and that pains me to say because that's who you want to see in the playoffs is a Teron Dickens, and he's just not going to get there, unfortunately, Coach Jackson. That's a shame.
Yeah, it is, because that guy lights it up week in, week out. You can depend on 400 or 500 yards and about 5-6 touchdowns every week. He's absolutely electric, and he's, it's too bad. But yeah, they did play themselves out of the playoffs.
Chris comes back in. Mercyhurst will be a tough out for Central Connecticut State University. It wouldn't be a shock if Duquesne sneaks into the playoffs. We'll talk about that. We'll see how it happens. And we mentioned New Age talking about SDSU still ranked still in Illinois. South Dakota getting much respect from pollsters. Yeah, absolutely. And Steve Hotchkiss checking in, just got here as well. Great to have you on board, Steve. Y'all really haven't missed much. We're just reviewing that Week 13. And then Colby Cluth says Tim Lasso? Tim Lasso. Was it Ted Lasso?
It is. Maybe it's Ted's brother.
Tim, Ted's brother believes. Got it. Does UC Davis make the playoff if they lose to Sac State this week, is what Chris Monstrongolo is asking. That's a great question, and that's the first game we're going to look at, Coach Jackson, for our Pick'em segment here this week. Oh, I better get my pen ready because, we got to do some Pick'ems here. I'm ready. I'm and I hear some dishes in the background. Sweet Elizabeth's making sweet potato souffle because we got a Thanksgiving thing at work. So she's in there if you hear pots and pans banging around. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. It's Sacramento State and UC Davis, Coach Jackson. This is one of those Big Sky conference matchups that really is going to – you're looking at how many teams are going to get into the playoffs. It's the Causeway Classic, 7-4 Sacramento State, 7-3 UC Davis for the Hornets. It's all about the ground game. And Rodney Hammond Jr., he's powered his way to over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns this season. Defense led by Mikey Diamato, a name that you should know. He's coming off a monster year tackling. And for the Aggies, they got that quarterback, Caden Pinnock, we talked about. 22 touchdowns. Larley's favorite target is Samuel Bato Jr. On defense, All-American safety Rex Connors has been injured. He's out. That's a big loss for them. He could be a turnover machine. That defense can build off of what he's built as a player. And, Coach Tim Plow and Tim Lasso. Oh, I got it. He does look like, you know what? Now I'm getting it. Oh, Kobe had to put it together for us. Got it. Tim Plow looks like Ted Lasso.
Wow.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
Thank you, Kobe.
Yeah. Casey Smurthwaite had coaching info on Plow on X, buyout, etc. Oh, wow. Steve Hotchkiss coming in with some spilling the tea. All right, well, cool. Let's look back at this one. you got UC Davis and Sacramento State. Sacramento State, a team, Coach Jackson, that was, I think, probably not particularly high on people's radar as Brandon Marion came in and, bringing the go-go offense. It wasn't going, and we kind of talked about that. But then found a ground game, and then he started putting it together. Sacramento State is considered a quality opponent, a playoff team now. UC Davis, young team. We saw what they did against Montana State. They didn't have the horses to stay with the Bobcats. They got the horses to stay with Sacramento State. What do you think? And chat, I'm going to pick you guys in too. Make your picks.
It's a home game for Davis. If you want my honest opinion, quite honestly, I don't think Sacramento State is a playoff team if they win, and I don't think UC Davis is a playoff team if they lose. So with that in mind, and it's a home game for UC Davis, they've got more to play for than Sacramento State does, I do believe. So it'd shock me if they don't come out ready to play. I'm going to go with UC Davis.
All right, UC Davis. I'm with Tim Plasso. I forget what the comment was. I'm with you. I think UCD has just more maturity than Sacramento State has right now. So I'm going to go UCD as well. Chat, put your Brandon Haddock's got UCD. There's a couple of comments. Yes, Hotchkiss coming in with UCD. I missed a comment. Oh, UCD has the first game canceled for weather against Mercer, and I believe they were winning. Wonder how committee takes that into account. And then Steve comes in. Does Davis get any credit for that game? It's canceled. No. They're not allowed to talk about that game. They're not allowed to consider it at all. And Mercer was coming back in that game. So you got to wonder if they lost to Mercer, or Mercer won the automatic qualifier, so how that affects things. So it looks like it's the last Causeway Classic of Sacramento State moving on. Good call, Kobe, to independent FCS. Everyone's got UC Davis in this one, so I think that's a good pick. We'll get Brandon's pick as well. Your thoughts on that Davis Mercer game, Coach?
Well, it's a shame that they couldn't find a way to finish it. I don't see how you can't take it into consideration, because you're telling me I saw a game that didn't happen.
Right.
And it was two quality teams. So honestly, Sacramento State was leading at the when the game stopped. One, you got to find a way to finish that game.
Yeah.
And two, I think you do have to consider what happened in the game. Even if you want to consider, hey, listen, Mercer's not the same team that they were back then. I mean, they have the automatic qualifier right now. So even if you want to say they wasn't the team that they were, or whatever, if you want to use that, work it against UC Davis or use it for UC Davis, either one. But I don't believe that you can just ignore that. Every stat. I don't think you can ignore that the game happened.
Yeah. Well, they're going to try. It's kind of like being sequestered in court or something stricken from the record.
Right.
It always it's there. It's there. That bullet's been fired. All right. This is, by the way, Sacramento State lost last year's competition 42-39 to UC Davis. This one, Idaho State and Idaho. It's the Battle of the Domes. Also for that Potato State Trophy. Idaho State got absolutely throttled last year by Idaho, 40-17. These are two very different teams as the Bengals come in, watching Jordan Cook. We talked about him earlier. Top target, Michael Shukalov. On the ground, Dason Brooks. But we talk about these players, Coach. We got a chance to talk about Idaho State some this year. The Vandals struggling. They're going to counter with Josh Wood, who leads the team in both passing and rushing, and Ryan Jazario looking for him as a downfield receiver, and Mateus McLean disrupts the defense in the backfield as a defender. This one's going to be a good one. And I think, let me see, who's got the series in this one? Idaho leads the series 7-2. Coach Jackson, Idaho State is going to win this game in the Kibbe Dome is what I'm saying. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm not even going to watch the game. It's not really going nowhere. But home game, after what happened last week, let me have the Vandals. I'm going with Idaho.
Ooh, okay. And it looks like chat is going with the Spuds. Steve Hotchkiss checks in. All right. I'm all right. I'm on an island here. I'll take that. I did pretty good last year, by the way. Last week, picking a couple that no one else went with. So I'll take it. Up next, we've got, this is a big one for Maine. Well, and New Hampshire, as a matter of fact. This is a CAA matchup. Let me get to my cheat sheet. CAA, Maine, and UNH. It was New Hampshire beating the bricks off the Black Bears last year, 27-9. It's the Wildcats that lead the overall series, 15-3. It's going to be in Durham, Maine. Maine's offense led by Carter Peavy with the rushing leader Sincere Baines, while UNH counter with Matt Veza. We've got a chance to say that young man's name a good bit. He's got over 2,300 yards passing. His top target is wide receiver Caleb Burke. Offensively, they're not someone's going to put up a 50, a burger on you, but they can score, and it's going to be up to Maine to find a way to keep up, in my opinion. Coach, what do you think here?
Well, both it's going to be a good game. It's going to be an even game, and literally, I'm going to go simply because Maine has a 2 words for their mascot, Black Bears. Instead of just Wildcats. So I'm going to go with Maine.
All right, that's very reasonable. I'm going to go UNH because they're a better football team. How about that? Brandon Haddett coming in with UNH. Monstrongolo. Don't think UNH makes it. I think Dartmouth gets in over. Yeah, that's a conversation we're going to talk about. Could Harvard get 3 teams in? It's going to be real tricky. Dartmouth has beat UNH head-to-head, so that is going to be interesting. Committee's got some problems on their hands, by the way. Yeah. EKU beat Idaho in 82 playoffs with Dennis Erickson coached Idaho. How cool is that? Love that history. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. And he comes in with Maine as well. So we've got a kind of mix here, UNH and Maine. I think UNH has got it. UNH has got more people in the chat saying that they're going to pick up the win. So they're with me, Coach Jackson. This is going to be a split house here. I do think it's huge for both these teams, and if either one of them want to make the playoffs, this is the win. DJ Williams is going to head to Illinois State and Normal, Illinois, and face that ranked opponent. Should be a good matchup here. Southern Illinois obviously picked up the loss to South Dakota. It was just a couple points. I was just so heartbroken, and it looked like Southern Illinois was going to win that game. South Dakota, all the credit to them. They came back and picked up a big victory, knocking SIU off. So now it's up to this matchup here, Illinois State and SIU. Coach Jackson, Illinois State picked up a big win last year, 43-10 over the Salukis. As 11th ranked Illinois State, they got Tommy Rittenhouse, who's got 28 touchdown passes. He has a record-breaking receiver in Daniel Sopowitz. Their linebacker, Ty Niekamp. We love calling that dude's name as well. He anchors the defense. 16 tackle breakout a week ago. And then the Salukis, electrifying quarterback DJ Williams. He's healthy, over 3,000 combined yards, 36 total touchdowns. Huge matchup. But I don't think I think that loss probably was the punch in the gut that they didn't need. I'm going to go with Illinois State here.
Yeah, I think Coach Hill and the Salukis are going to need – what'd they score, 51 points last week? They'll need 50 to beat Coach Spack and the Redbirds, and they're not going to score 50 points on the Illinois State defense. So let me have the Redbirds.
Yep.
I'm like Chris. I think they're rolling right now.
By the way, Steve Hotchkiss says that trivia shows I'm old. He went back to 1982. Hey, you know what? It's all right. Yeah. Illinois State hitting on all cylinders. Great to see Mr. McKenzie stepping in here. Stephen McKenzie, I think you're right. And they have the weapons. We talk about DJ Williams all the time, and that's it. Illinois State just has the horses, in my opinion. All right, up next, oh gosh, South Dakota State. New Age also coming in with Illinois State. South Dakota State at North Dakota. And, Coach, I have this game in here. By the way, South Dakota State knocked off North Dakota last year 38-7. If South Dakota State somehow defeats North Dakota and a couple other things happen, you got a lot of things going on in the MVFC that the committee doesn't want. So, but it's South Dakota Jackrabbits facing the Fighting Hawks, a massive MVFC showdown. Chase Mason, is he going to play? Who knows? Probably not. Julius Luffridge is their running back, great running back, transfer in from one of the L teams. No, Fordham. Okay, transferred in from Fordham. North Dakota transfers with Jerry Kaminsky and Sawyer Siddell. They're great running back. Watch the Jackrabbits try to stop their slide. Coach Jackson, what are you thinking here?
Well, if the bus shows up, if the Jackrabbits show up, they're in trouble. They're just in a death spiral right now. It'd be hard for me to believe that North Dakota doesn't put 40 on them, and and it's not even close. I think North Dakota beats them pretty bad, and I think South Dakota State slides on into down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm going to look at – they talk about the North Dakota Alaris Dome being a difficult place to play. Does anyone know what their home record is? Football. I'll check it out real quick. It is – I mean, traditionally we've seen North Dakota State go in there and, get beat. It has been a tough place to play. At home, they're 4-1. Yeah, there you go. So everyone's going North Dakota. I'm going North Dakota too. South Dakota State, they just got a lot of things to clean up. And
even if the quarterback comes back, he's been out of commission for 5-6 weeks. You don't know that the timing on the offense is going to be there, anything like that. It'd be nice for the kid to be able to come back and finish out the season, but I don't think that's going to happen. And like I said, I don't think they win.
Yeah. Steve McKenzie coming in thinking a lot of people thinking the same thing. South Dakota State doesn't even deserve an at-large bid. North Dakota will win this weekend. Yeah, I think so. By the way, Haddock bringing in the real important stuff. Rabbit Hole is a great bourbon. I think he's been drinking some bourbon because rabbit's misspelled and bourbon's misspelled. But Brandon, you do you, baby. You do you. I had some great bourbon. A couple of weeks ago, and where was I? I meant to tell you about it, but anyway, squirrel off the rails. All right, let's get back to it in the next game. Interesting one here. St. Thomas traveling to the Fargo Dome, North Dakota State. North Dakota State MVFC automatic qualifier. Do they rest some folks? Do they lay off and let the Tommies come in and keep it close, or No.
I think the Tommies will do enough on their own. You're gonna get they're gonna open up the playbook. So it'll be an exciting game to watch, but I would say probably that game's probably over with about 45 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think you're right. NDSU by a lot is the chat. All right, so we're with NDSU across the board. This is an interesting one, Coach. Sacred Heart Pioneers. They've had it quietly. Good season. 8-3, playing Villanova. Non-conference matchup. Villanova still has some stuff to play for. Sacred Heart independent, not eligible for playoffs. Matter of fact, are they the one? No, it's St. Francis. Isn't it St. Francis that's going down to Division III or something? They've just quit. Villanova and Sacred Heart. Villanova may have their eyes on the playoffs. Thinking there's any chance here Sacred Heart comes in and shocks them?
Well, the thing that you do get with Villanova is they are guilty of playing down or up to the level of competition that they play. And at this time of year, that could turn out. I don't think that they lose the ball game, but it may be a little closer than what we would expect. So, at 24-17, maybe. Somewhere in there, I can see that happening. But I'd still have to think Villanova is going to win this one.
Yeah. Chris Monstranglo says, does Sacred Heart get an at-large bid with a Villanova win? 9 wins.
Mm,
it would make it interesting. I have to go
yeah.
back and look, Chris. Definitely, yeah. Steve Hodges, yeah. Brandon Haddock says, "Give me Sacred Heart." He has been in the bourbon. He has been in the bourbon. It's official. It's official. Yeah, no quality wins is the comment from Steve McKenzie checking in. So yeah, I think Villanova just has to lock in right here. Lock in and play your game and pick up a win and get on. New Edge says, I'm trying to get a ticket to St. Thomas game, but for whatever reason, the tickets are still far more than the game would be worth. Wow. Cool.
Wow.
New Edge, I think you're the one who said it was about the Minnesota and North Dakota. That was the interesting thing, that the whole dynamic there, because isn't St. Paul where you fly into to get to Fargo or something? Something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I could be completely wrong. Nova's the pick across the board. Chat, and except for Haddock, we'll put a little question mark here for Haddock. But anyway, all right, Villanova lock in. Up next, we've got Austin Peay in Tarleton. A little bit different game. Yeah, New Age says yes, that St. Paul's where you fly into to get to the Fargo. I still think it's like a 5-hour drive or something like that, 3.5-hour drive. But interesting. That's a nice rivalry that could take hold there, especially if Tommy's go in there and knock them off. If they rest some players, they're gonna have to rest a lot of players though.
The Tommy Knockers.
Hey, let's go. Hey, speaking of Tommy Knockers, this one's Tarleton State and UAC's got playoff implications. Coach Jackson, we know Austin Peay, a very, very gritty team, tough team. Tarleton State had a long run undefeated. They finally lost. It was Tarleton picked up the win last year, 27-17. Oh, you know what? I had a good stat about the NDSU game. I'll go back to it. Anyway, Tarleton State enters one of the top teams in the FCS, averaging 45 points per game. They're riding the momentum. Trey Page III, what a running back that young man has. He's an outstanding player. Victor Gabalis there for Tarleton State. Austin Peay's offense guided by dual threat quarterback Chris Parsons. If you had a chance to see him, he is a fantastic athlete. Brings a lot of firepower to that offense and a lot of dual threats there for him. Texas got a great secondary. It's going to be a ground game. Austin Peay, if they can win, they're going to pick up a lot of yards on the ground, in my opinion, Coach. But I just got to think Tarleton State's going to pick up the win here at home.
Well, it's going to be a good game. It'll be a little bit better game than what you would think. Jeff Ferris has got a good program at Austin Peay. They've got a good defense. They've got a good offense. They've got they've got some players to put points up and put offensive numbers and things like that. But they don't have a whole lot of depth.
Yeah,
and Tarleton does. So I expect it to be close, and quite honestly, I really expect the difference to be the difference in special teams in this particular game.
Yes.
I think Austin Peay has them scared to death, and then Tarleton probably returns a punt for a touchdown, blocks a kick, or somewhere along those. But yeah, I'm going to take Tarleton, but I do not believe it's going to be easy.
Yeah. Chris says your thoughts on the Governor's logo.
Oh, it sucks. I mean,
Come on. He's a gentleman. The top hat and everything. The mustache.
It's better than the AP that they used to have.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. But, it's trash. It's nothing more than the Duquesne logo sitting straight up.
What? All right. I'm a fan of, since they rebranded, I'm a fan. Everyone seems to think Tarleton's going to win this game. Coach Jackson, you're with me. Tarleton across the board, but closer than some might think. By the way, go back real quick to the North Dakota State game, Tommy's game. How many times do you think North Dakota State and St. Thomas has played in their history?
7.
24. 24 times these teams have met.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say 7 times 3 plus 3.
Yeah, then you'd have been correct, I think. I don't know math. The last time these two teams met, North Dakota State picked up a 35-6 win against St. Thomas in 1966. So this is the first time these teams are playing in a long time, in a very long time. So there you go. See, McKenzie, with a name like Governors, it's tough to make any logo. Yeah. They did their best.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they had made the face maybe a little meaner without the Monopoly monocle dude, that's
And maybe it's because I'm a Bucks guy, and we had the old Errol Flynn, or the pirate, the winking guy, and he kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
A New Edge said he didn't know that statistic. He was 16. It was 16 years before he was born. Yeah, it was a long time before a lot of us were born. So. Yeah. Anyway, this one should be a good one. Brandon Haddock, pay attention. It's Southern Utah coming across the country to face North Alabama. That's near Greenbow, Alabama, I think. The last meeting, Southern Utah picked up the win 38-26. They've met twice. They've split it 1-1. So what you got here, Southern Utah's ground game coming in, led by FCS All-American candidate Joshua Dye. Said his name a lot this year. He leads the division with 25 touchdowns and over 1,700 rushing yards. North Alabama's offense driven by Javian Allen, who's got 717 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. I think this could be a defensive battle for Southern Utah, and I think it could be honestly a shutout for Southern Utah if North Alabama doesn't put some stuff together. I'm going to go Southern Utah all day long on this one, Coach, and it's a must-win for Southern Utah. They can't trip up, and Brett Dearman's playing for his job likely, so he wants to have a shocker, but Southern Utah for me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to encourage my good friend Brandon. Probably double up on the rabbit hole with 1B, and it'll be a better game once he's gotten through at least a bottle of that. I don't think it's going to be close. Southern Utah's good. They're one. Had they not gotten off to the start that they did, but they had a tough schedule when they started too. Literally, they'd be in the top 25. We'd be talking about them as the potential lock. But yeah, Southern Utah, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah. The fighting Jamie Williams. Did he go to what team's he rooting for? He was a James Madison guy, right? Jamie Williams, I think, at one point. Is he going to Southern Utah now? I don't know. I've seen his podcast. I like Jamie. I think they do a good job over there. FCS Fans Nation, I think. Okay. Moving on. Southern Utah is a playoff team. Sadly, they won't be considered. I think they will be considered for the playoffs. We'll have to get there and talk about those playoff implications coming up here, Steve. Up next, South Carolina State and Delaware State. We're moving into our championship games for the weekend, and Delaware State, South Carolina State, big win for South Carolina State over North Carolina Central. They showed me something now. They got to face this tough Delaware State team. And I'm not circling this. I wasn't circling South Carolina State and Delaware State on the calendar to start the season, but here we are, and Delaware State is a team to be reckoned with, Coach Jackson. Your thoughts?
Well, I think I love what Coach Jackson's done with Delaware State, but I think he's gotten a little distracted. He was talking about some other games and some other actions and some and literally, when you're coming down the stretch, you ought to be laser focused on your particular team. I'm not so sure he's not looking, maybe for some other things to happen for him. With that being said, give me the South Carolina State Bulldogs.
Okay.
They are tough. I think Delaware State has done a little bit of smoke and mirrors, just a little bit, and I'm not trying to take away from their season, but I think they've gotten better, and I think they've gotten a little lucky, and I think it kind of runs out.
I said last week, South Carolina State, they just show up in big games. That's their history. Everyone in the chat is picking Delaware State.
Isn't that the meme? Isn't that the meme that their coach used to have? Give me my money.
Yeah. Yes. Give me my money. By the way, last year, this was a 69-35 contest. South Carolina State absolutely destroyed. And I know it's a different team. South Carolina State for me, guys. South Carolina State is the choice for me. in the MEAC there. So give me South
In the
Carolina
battle,
State.
good looking logos too. I like the Fairy Bee and I like the muscular bulldog there.
All right. I'm a fan because the South Carolina State, it's a throwback, right? And they haven't really changed it. I love the colors, the blue and the red and the white for Delaware State. It's sweet. All right, another championship. This one out of the Patriot League, Lehigh versus Lafayette. Should be a good one, Coach. 38-14, Lehigh defeated Lafayette last year. Lafayette, I know. Lehigh owns the series history 12-11. It's the 161st meeting between these two teams. It's the most played rivalry in college football history. Undefeated 11-0, Lehigh Mountain Hawks. They face the 8-3, number 24, Lafayette Leopards. Dean DeNoble, that quarterback is great. They got a quarterback like Kente Edwards. He's claimed 6 Patriot League Offensive Players of the Week awards. He's rushed for 1,297 yards. He's 17 touchdowns this season. DeNoble, third season with the Lafayette as the Lafayette starters, 2,300 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And then then Lehigh. They have done an amazing job there on offense. Luke Yoder, the running back. That dude is an absolute stud. Lehigh trying to keep their hopes alive. And if the Lehigh doesn't win and Lafayette wins, does Lehigh get an automatic bid? That's a whole big thing. 2 teams out of the Patriot League, with Richmond being a total garbage team this year. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of a dispute in the chat. Lehigh. Chris Monstrangelo says Lafayette. Who you got, Coach?
Well, you know what? In the battle of the 2-part mascots, right? You got both L's, but one is a mountain hawk. You don't have to worry about hawks, but you do have to worry about mountain hawks. Okay. Leopards, whatever. I don't think Lafayette is in Lehigh's class. So give me Lehigh over Lafayette.
All right. I don't like the pick. But I'm going to go with Lafayette, Coach. We had Dean DeNoble on the show. He's a very poised young man. They do things now. They had an FBS win a season ago. Give me Lafayette in the upset to spin up the Patriot League and win the championship there. It looks like Lehigh is coming out on top in the chat, so Lehigh will be the pick for the guest, but I don't like it. I'm going Lafayette.
If Lafayette wins, then Lehigh does deserve a at-large bid. So, if that works for everybody, that works for me. But I don't think that they're going. I don't think they're going to win.
They gotta have a quality win. Lafayette could be that quality, and if they don't, I don't know. Right. Big question mark. All right, UT Martin and Tennessee Tech. It's the Big South OVC Championship, essentially. Tennessee Tech and UT Martin last year, Coach, 10-9. The Golden Eagles eked out a victory. They lead the overall series 23-21-2. Big time. Championships on the line. Offensively for UT Martin, Chase Bauer has been excellent. 71% completion rate. Defensively, look at All-American Jamichael McCreary Jr., the program's career pass breakup leader. They also have great special teams over there. Tennessee Tech counters with 42 points per game. Kiko Vesperis, he's 23 passing touchdowns. On defense, they got a defensive lineman, Maurice Lapierre, who is their sack leader. Jason Simpson bringing that team, UT Martin, 3 FBS losses. Don't let the record fool you, Coach Jackson, but I just feel like Tennessee Tech has been cooking all year, and I think it's going to be a Tennessee Tech victory at home. Who you got?
Not so fast, my friend.
Nobody
does it better than Jason Simpson in the OVC. He's the longest tenured coach. Tennessee Tech has got a fantastic team. And listen, I think they're in the playoffs one way or the other. I think they're going to learn after scheduling Kentucky late in the season. It's probably not a good thing to do. Schedule them at the beginning of the season, work all your way down. I'm going to go with UT Martin in a complete upset to take the OVC title and get the automatic qualifier.
I love what Steve McKenzie says right here. If Tech is a real deal, they will win this game by 3 scores. I don't think UT Martin's that bad, but we shall see. Yeah, it's Coach Martin versus Coach Simpson. It's Billy Wilder there who's done an amazing job for Tennessee Tech coming in. We didn't, I think you had a relationship with a former head coach there, right, Coach? You knew him. Yeah. So
I know Dwayne Alexander real good.
That's right, Dwayne Alexander. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a tough one. UT Martin and Tennessee Tech. All right, this one. It's at Tennessee Cookeville. It's at Cookeville, Tennessee. Yeah. All right, how about this one, Coach? It's Harvard and Yale. This is for the Ivy League. Another one of those matchups where if Harvard doesn't win, the whole thing gets spun up in chaos. It's the 141st edition of the game, as they call it. Harvard and Yale. Yale picked up the win last year, Coach, 34-29. In fact, Yale has won the last 3 against Harvard. Harvard looks to stay undefeated in outright Ivy League championships. Jaden Craig, what a stud. Talked about him all year long. Yale trying to play spoiler. Josh Pitzenberger. Quarterback Dante Reno airs it out to Nico Brown. They can do some dual threat stuff there. Harvard is a team that I think everyone said from the very beginning is going to win this one. But here's Yale. Harvard had a very tough competition against Penn last week. On the road, still got to go with Harvard. Jaden Craig's a stud. Give me Harvard on this one, Coach.
Well, this is the one that I don't like. I mean, first of all, it's the battle of the asymmetrical logos. The thing I don't like about Yale's Y is if you look kind of in the middle, that looks like a down arrow, which you don't want that in football.
Those subliminal stuff.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think Yale is as good as people think. And the only reason I say that is because there's not a large they just don't play many out of conference games. I don't think Yale is all that good either. I think it'll be a good ball game, but I'm gonna go with the what are they? The Crimson.
They are.
I'm gonna go with Harvard, but I do not like the pick at all. I think it's gonna be a good game, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's not 6-5.
Oh, okay. A low scoring game. I think it's going to be a 28-10 kind of game for Harvard. Called this game a month ago. This game could make or break Harvard. 1875 was the first HV versus UY game 10 years after the Civil War. Isn't that amazing? That's fascinating. That's fascinating. All white dudes too on the team, apparently. So yeah, Harvard on this one. I think the chat has Harvard. You said Harvard as well. And I think that's it'll be interesting. New Age coming in. All I know about Harvard and Yale rivalry is what I learned watching an episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns dismisses Harvard's athletic prowess in favor of Yale's gentlemanly club life. So New Age is going for Yale, I guess. I'm not sure. How many Ivy League champions have been ranked top 10? Yeah, I don't know. And them being in the playoff conversation now is totally different. So, all right, we go back to the UAC, and it's a championship game for Abilene Christian and Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas, they're just trying to play spoilers. Abilene Christian and Keith Patterson there in the UAC trying to just go in the playoffs on a high note. This should be a good matchup here between Abilene Christian, but they've stumbled a little bit. They did knock off Tarleton. Central Arkansas trying to play spoilers. Nathan Brown may be playing for his job, Coach Jackson.
Well, the UAC has the largest conglomerations of purple and gray and purple and white teams.
Mm-hmm.
This particular one, I'm going to go with Abilene Christian. They're a more complete team. It's a more complete logo. All they've done is put a stock bear over there and just put Central Arkansas over the top of that. Not a whole lot of thought goes into that. Not a whole lot of thought going into their offense right now either. So I'm going to go with Abilene Christian. I think it's going to be pretty big, and pretty big for Abilene Christian's a couple of touchdowns. So I don't think it's as close as the score might even indicate.
Okay. Yeah, I think Abilene Christian goes in. By the way, lost Aggie 66. Good to have you aboard. Says he likes Harvard, but Yale's won the last 3 and could love to upset Crimson. Yeah, those rivalry games, it's anyone's game. So I do think that is a game to keep an eye on. As far as this one goes, just love what Keith Patterson does. I think he's just a gentle giant. He's got his first opportunity to win to head coach at 53 or 54 years old. Really appreciating the journey of the head coach, and I think the ACU wins. It was ACU winning last year, 41-34, was a close matchup. But give me the edge. Stone Earl back for Abilene Christian, I think could be the difference. He's just got experience and veteran leadership for the Abilene Christian Wildcats. Okay. Final game we're going to talk about is this monster. It is the Brawl of the Wild. It is Montana State and Montana there in Missoula. So this is the game everyone's going to be talking about. Shame on College Game Day for not going out there to Missoula for this one. This is going to be a massive matchup. Head-to-head, champion to the Big South, automatic qualifier. Massive game, Coach Jackson. Massive game. Last meeting, it was Montana losing to Montana State 34-11. Montana holds the overall series but has lost the last 2 games. The Brawl of the Wild should be fun. Justin Lamson, so impressive at quarterback. Julius Davis. You also got a high-flying quarterback in Kelly Ayotte and Eli Gilman, names that we got the chance to just admire all season long. Coach Jackson, Montana State, and Montana Grizz. What are you thinking?
It's a home game for Montana, right?
Yes.
Man, that for me that's worth 2.5 points.
Okay.
But I'm like Chris. Montana State's got a fantastic offense, and they play defense. I think the Grizzlies are a little bit bigger in the trenches than Montana State is. I know where I'm going to be at 2:00 Saturday. I'm going to be parked in for hell. If game day don't want to be there, whatever. But I'm going to be there. And I'm going to go with the Grizz.
Wow.
Give me the home team. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Grizz in an absolute barn burner.
You know, and Steve Hotchkiss agrees with you, but not many other people in the chat do. It looks like Bobcats almost exclusively. I think this comes – the talent on the field is there. I think this comes down to Brent Vegan and the head coach over there, Houck. And I think Vegan is just the guy. I think he's just the guy. I think he finds a way. He knows how to win. And I'm going to go Montana State. I know it's the popular pick, but, I'm not scared to go. I just feel like on the road, go down there, Brent Vegan, and give me Montana State, in my opinion. We're going to go Montana State also for the chat. And this one, cold front moving in, winter is coming. Yeah, it's 75 degrees in Georgia today. It was absolutely blue. Miss Sweet Elizabeth absolutely loved it. I'm like, give me some freaking cold weather, please. But not so much luck in this one, Coach Jackson. Montana State, yeah, this one is going to be awesome. 2:00 ESPN Plus should be a fun one.
It should be on ESPN Plus, too. It ought to be on ESPN2 during that time frame. Game. Pat, what's his name? The dude that won't keep his shirt on. He ought to be out there kicking field goals. McAfee ought to be holding field goals. It's going to be the best atmosphere. Definitely in all of FCS. It's going to be one of the best atmosphere of the entire football community come Saturday. Going to be a great game. Honestly, I wish they were playing it at night. But they're not. It's at 2:00. Yeah. I'm sticking with the Grizzlies. They can't change my mind.
Kobe, if you start a bourbon, please call it Bobcat Cold Front. That sounds delicious. And then Brandon Haddock said, give me 90s and a Jack and Coke. Yeah, I think a lot of people will agree with you. All right, we've hit the hour mark. Chat, thank you guys so much. You guys always bring your A game. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kobe's great comments. Steve Hotchkiss, Stephen McKenzie, thank you so much. New Age coming in. Chris Monstrongo, Lost Aggie 66 checking in. Very happy to see you guys. If I missed anyone, Austin Axum, congratulations to Stephen F. Austin. All right, Coach, what you got for the weekend?
Just gonna watch some football. We're not traveling. Eastern is headed down to Utah Tech, and I'm not driving out there. Did I tell you last time I was there? I went to the Cracker Barrel and ordered a country ham and biscuit with cheese, and they looked at me and they said they'd never had anything ordered like that in their lives. So yeah, I'm not going back. That's it. I'm gonna watch a lot of football and get ready for Thanksgiving next week.
Good. Yes. We should be back on Monday night for a recap show, so look for that. Of course, we'll put it on YouTube. And I plan on watching some football. Me and Sweet Elizabeth spend some time together. I think we're going to go see a comedian, and we may have some of that awesome Mount Juliet, Tennessee meat you sent over, Coach, for as a gift. Thank you so much. What a generous thing. I can't even. We've already, like I said, we already cooked it up, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It comes from Ed Rice's award-winning ham house, and one of the oldest ones in Tennessee, and he don't miss. I just put it that way.
Well, if you want to get with Ed Rice about sponsoring the FCS Checkdown, I will throw Ed Rice. It'll be the Ed Rice FCS Checkdown. That meat is legit. Give away a ham hock every so often.
He'd be proud. He's been gone for about 25 years.
Oh, God rest his soul. The Rice family, then. The Rice family. All right. On that note, Coach, I hope you have a great weekend. Chat, you guys have a great weekend as well. Week 13 for the FCS is here. Playoff implications. We'll talk more about that as the week continues and these games take place. Thank you guys so much for making this awesome. It is the funnest hour of talking football. I'm out there. It's just unbelievable. You guys make it happen. We'll see you on Monday. For Coach Ron Jackson, I'm Nathan McCreary for the FCS Checkdown. We say, so long. Let's go.